Hello, everyone, and welcome. Just a moment here. Today, welcome. We're broadcasting today. This thing's been stirring up inside of me, so I've decided to get on the air and do a broadcast. What we're going to talk today about is it's a mistake that everyone is making. If you're involved and not involved with Bitcoin, in today's broadcast, I'm going to show you why you're doing the wrong thing. And if you're involved in Bitcoin in any way and hodling to any degree, why you're also doing the wrong thing. So it's wrong for you not to be in Bitcoin, and it's wrong for you to be in Bitcoin and to be hodling or holding, and I'm going to show you why that is. It's a mistake that everyone's making. I'm going to point out to you a few things today you're going to learn. Now, this is going to help you immensely turn things around in most of your lives. So pay attention to what I'm going to say today. Be intelligent, don't be stupid, and listen carefully to what I'll be teaching you today, and also invite some of your friends. Make sure you like and follow. I'm trying to do everything the other guys do. Hey, like and follow, and pay attention to your emails or whatever it is. Take a snapshot, share it, follow, like, subscribe, whatever. Chase my tail, whatever it is. Just do it and share, share, share. All right. So this video today in this broadcast, we're going to teach you what you need to do. I'm going to give you an idea today, and I'm going to show you how this is the smartest thing to do, smartest way to go about dealing with this cryptocurrency thing. And if you're not in crypto yet, why you really should start considering it. And I'm going to show you also, and not that you need to do it, I'm going to show you that you don't need to do it to do what I'm going to suggest to you. So this is a method that you can use without being in crypto, without having crypto. So you can do this without getting involved in crypto, period. But again, then you'll be missing out on potentialities that crypto may offer to you. And then those who are in crypto already, and I'm going to show you how you're doing it the wrong way and which is the better way for you to go about your crypto speculation. Can't call it investing right now. So right now it's really just speculation. So let me just make a share out and make sure this thing's going out to the MyCBH TV network. And I'm going to share that to that Facebook page, by the way. Those of you on Facebook, go ahead and share this. Everyone needs to see this. It may have worldwide usage. So anywhere in the world, if you guys are watching this, you can share with your friends, and they should also benefit from this teaching. It should be something useful for everyone, no matter where that you are on the planet. Now, so let's get into it. Most of you that are in Bitcoin, and those of you, first of all, everyone should know what Bitcoin is, right? Bitcoin is a highly speculative cryptocurrency. What are cryptocurrencies? Cryptocurrencies is a digital asset. You can look at it as a fabricated value. It's just a digital. It exists only on the internet. Okay. Basically, it's a medium of exchange in most cases. So it's a way for things to happen worldwide between different parties, or basically two parties, and the crypto is really the way of exchanging value from one party to another. Basically, there's a lot of other details in there that either give you the feeling that, hey, this may have some value and may rise in value for some reason in the future or not, so that's basically what everything is functioning on. I've been sharing in a few videos already my sentiment or my observation that obviously most of the cryptocurrencies are functioning or valuating on speculation and not on valuation. Bitcoin is the biggest one that is riding on speculation more than valuation, in my opinion. But because of that is why you have the big highs and then the crashing lows that you've been seeing or hearing about, and which makes people concerned. Because of course you're looking at Bitcoin, how am I going to put money into something and then it disappears over, and not even overnight, in a minute or two. It has that I just got a notification. Someone put up a video. Bitcoin could explode to 12,000. See, so this is the type of thing that goes on. So what's happening is that guys like this, they hype, because of course Bitcoin is all about speculation. When you're dealing with speculation, and by the way, before I get into any more of this, I don't have the disclaimer, and I should have it by now, but that's one thing I'm going to work on after I get back from burying my father. But I'm not giving any financial advice here. Okay, I'm not a financial guru or financial professional and all of that. All I'm doing is talking about my observances of crypto and using things that I do know about and experiences that I have, and just commenting. So these are just basic commentary. You need to follow your own thinking on what you personally do with your money. Simply, I'm just providing a perspective, and you do whatever you want to do. Okay, so you really need, and also for everything you need your lawyers, and you need your financial professionals that are licensed and accredited. These people can give you some advice and whatnot on how, and what you should do with your money. So get that straight out there in the open. All right, so most of the crypto is based on speculation and not valuation. And then you have these people in the community on YouTube and elsewhere. They're talking about, hey, Bitcoin's going to go up to 12. Like right now, somebody just put it's fresh. Somebody just got the notification. It's right now on YouTube. Somebody's saying that it's going to explode to 12,000. And they're always trying to say this when, of course, Bitcoin is going down. So what is it that they're trying to do? So let's first examine what's happening. Why, when things are going down, right, the people then come online or in your own life and they start saying, well, it's going to get better. Why do they say that? Because obviously, first of all, they're invested in Bitcoin. So they want things to get better. How do the things get better? By more people investing in Bitcoin, and then that makes people feel there's more money coming in, so people start having a different attitude. Even this YouTube video, this guy has thousands of followers, right? I'm talking cents, right? But he has the thousands of followers. I'm the one with 64. But again, that's the way it goes. Everybody likes the hype, and yeah, you're gonna be a millionaire, and this and that. This is going to bust out really soon. So this is the type of stuff you guys like to hear. but you don't like to hear truth and reality, which is with me. I'm as truthful and honest as the ugliness you see in front of you. Okay, fat and ugly. That's the truth. It's the honest truth. So this is what you get here. Who wants it? 64 of you apparently. Who wants to BS? Tens of thousands of you out there. So that's the proof in the pudding. But in any case, why does he need to do that? Because he wants to make sure that all of you who have invested like he has stay excited, hold your position. Same thing you do like if you're fighting a war, you want your soldiers to hold the ground. So what do you hear the generals doing? Keep your position. We got these guys beat. They're lying to you. They're just lying to you. You're dying. You guys are bleeding, and you guys are at the edge of death. But yet, the commanders and the generals said, "You almost got this one, boys. Keep it going." They're lying to you, Lord ever. But again, you know, it. But the generals, they may lie to you that you're winning because, of course, you don't know the big picture. They're looking at it. But the truth is really that, and you can see this in the Bible actually. So what I'm saying to you is real actual truth here. Well, at least that there's a biblical support for this. And that is that, few people can overcome a great number of people. It's not unheard of in the history of the world where a smaller force was able to defeat a larger force. Okay, by what manner? By showing resilience, by having more movement, more bravadura, right? Bravado, I should say, bravado, where the other force say, man, these guys don't give up. They must have some hidden forces behind them someplace. So they get ready to travel and make the other side, even though they are larger in number, make them say, whoa, we got to be careful here. Make them second think, even just that little bit where the other side may be routing, and because their generals are saying, "Oh, we got these guys licked," right? So they're not getting that reinforcement, and so are we okay here? So then doubt comes into the mind. This is a little psychology here. Doubt comes into the mind and say maybe we're not as good as we think. Maybe we're overconfident here. And while that's happening, they're getting stabbed, they're getting killed, their numbers are starting to go. Things can start happening, and you got one brave heart over there breaking through the lines. Okay, I'm scared. I'm done. I'm out. And it could be enough to make the tables turn. So that's why I'm saying that, and that's why they're not trying to wipe out all their men. They're just hoping that their men will rally enough to have a surge of energy and fearlessness and portray to the enemy that you guys are gonna die today, soon. Okay, and as long as that smaller force can impose that fear in the larger force, but they're still individual men. This is where the weakness comes in. You guys can that smaller force can overcome. In the Bible, you have the case uh, where the idea God gave them the idea, or He woke up with the brilliant stroke of an idea to wake up super early in the morning while the other army is asleep, and to go up from the mountain and start banging and making a lot of noise, like military noise, yelling, screaming, and no one would attack at night. It was the first night attack ever in the history of mankind. And that scared the other army completely out of their wits, and they just ran. These guys split. They won that battle. They won. Another case where they killed a lot of them in their sleep. So these were new strategic strategy, new things that were utilized to overcome the larger numbers. Just brains can overcome it. So again, anything that gives you an advantage can even the tables and can flip them over to your advantage. So what these guys are doing, basically, you see it all over the cryptos, and for most cryptos, they do it all the time because they can't compete with Bitcoin. So then you'll see this coin is going to make it. This more value in this coin than there is in Bitcoin, and stuff like that. Anything has more value than Bitcoin, really, if you look at it. But Bitcoin has the benefit of being the coin of speculation. It's just simply it came at the right time, at the right moment, and made the promises at the right key point in cryptocurrency development, where people took it more seriously than others. Because as I saw, as you can see, that XRP started before Bitcoin, but that didn't mean it doesn't matter. And I know in business it really doesn't matter before or after. It's the one who comes in and makes the captures the heart and the desire of the investors, because that's basically what Bitcoin is based on, is the speculation of its investors. Now, so that's the thing about crypto. So that you have to understand that Bitcoin, if you're going to look at something for speculative investing, then Bitcoin is it. You can't get more speculative than Bitcoin. And so what I'm going to show you here is what everyone is doing. Now, if you haven't gotten into Bitcoin, and you have, again, as with any type of things that you put money away or you're trying to do investing, you really have to be careful. And you need to put money, a small amount of what you have. Never put everything you have into the basket. Putting all your eggs in one basket is dumb. I see this guy, he's living in a car now. He knows who he is. He's living in a car now because he lost his home, because he'd rather put the money that he makes from YouTube, I guess, and put it into crypto, right? So he's really given his all into this crypto dream. So he's living in a car, and I guess he's putting that rent money they used to pay out in rent to a landlord, and he's using that. And I want you to remember that. Remember that. He's using that money to buy more crypto every month. So that's basically what he does. He does his broadcasts from a car or from outside walking around. And recently he was at a park, one of these big tree parks. I don't know if it was Yosemite or whatever, but in either case, that's where he's broadcasting his future predictions of cryptocurrency. In his case, he's an XRP coin aficionado. So that's basically what people are doing, and why I'm going to show you why he's doing it the wrong way. I'm going to prove that to you today, and I'm going to show you how you can look at this thing in a better fashion and leverage better. Now, there's people. I'm going to show you. Let's go to the screen here. There are people who are expecting Bitcoin to reach $1 million. So we're going to talk about that potential today. Once we switch our screens, and because of OBS, I have to do that little fancy dance of the screen changing. So right now, let's look. We're looking here at the price of Bitcoin right now is $8,143.04. Now, a week ago or so, it was up well, not even, just a few days ago, actually, it was in the 10,000 value. We all know that at one time it had gone up as high as $18,000. Okay, so basically, but let's go through this now. Bitcoin 8,143, Ethereum 170, 153, XRP, which is what used to be called Ripple, I guess, is 24 cents. And Tether is 101. Tether usually is like near the dollar. It's pretty much established there. Bitcoin Cash is at 222.14. Litecoin 54.93. So here you get the basic idea of the top moving coins out there. What I want to show you though is how people are doing this in a stupid way. And those who are investing and those who aren't investing in it, both of you guys are having the same similar situation. You're just doing the wrong thing. So I'm going to show you what you need to be looking at. So for this, we are looking at the price of Bitcoin. We're going to use Bitcoin as our example. This applies to all different types of crypto. As I show you, the other crypto coins are lesser in price than Bitcoin is. A lot of people chose to go into those other coins because of that fact. In other words, Bitcoin became too high priced to be considered an entry option for them. So they chose to do the lesser priced or value coin so that they can get some of that and then just ride that horsey for whatever it can be written for. And of course, you have those coins where they try to show you that their coin has more value than the other, or that Bitcoin, so that their coin really will go higher than Bitcoin eventually. I guess when people wake up and smell the coffee, I guess. All right, so here it is. So since it all began, what I want you to take a look at closely is the way Bitcoin, for example, in our example, the way Bitcoin has traditionally or through its lifetime has done its growing and its falling, right? I want you to take a look at it because, uh, throughout the years, like a Bitcoin at one time was available for 135.30 back in April 30th, 2013. Some of you were alive and probably had a few dollars then. Okay. And then we see as it went along that it went up and down, right? But it started gaining some speed. It was 300, 400s, 200s here throughout the first 1, 2, 3 years of it, pretty much staying around the in the below the 500s for 3 years. I want you to understand that. Let that soak in for a little bit. For 3 years, it pretty much stayed in the neighborhood. These are things that you can see easily and get an understanding about. Okay, so we have 3 years till 2016 where Bitcoin stayed in the few hundreds, below 500, more or less. Sometimes it broke up, but then it came back down. And then right here in 2016, at about June, a little bit before June, June, it went up to 650. So it started to pump up a little bit. Okay, so it pumped up a little bit, and then it came down to 5, but then went back up to 6, then it went to 7. And then you start seeing this, my goodness, this is going up, right? So then people start putting in, and then you see the thing in the bottom, that's how much money activity is happening. So more money started coming into Bitcoin. More and more people started, this is, hey, it used to be 100, and right now it's broke 1,000. So right now, when it started breaking 1,000, where people who brought this coin at $100. And I know someone that was gifted, someone had given them a birthday gift of a few Bitcoins, a few hundred Bitcoins. So can you imagine? So he put in a few hundred Bitcoins when it was $100 or less, because Bitcoin was even less than that when it first started. And so you figure the guy maybe brought 2,500, maybe 5,000 Bitcoins, 10,000 Bitcoins. So he gave some of these Bitcoins to a family member as a gift. And I met the guy at one of my meetups. And this guy is sitting on a six-figure amount of Bitcoin right now. Okay, right now, because it was gifted to him. He didn't even pay for buy into it. Isn't that a great thing, right? Wish you had a uncle like that. But in any case, it started going up. Now, $1,000 per Bitcoin back in May of 2017. Well, May of 2000, it was 2,000 per Bitcoin plus change. That's a significant amount of money. So this guy practically was gifted the value of a house, back in the day. And right now he could liquidate and buy a house, and that'll be okay. I mean, he would be okay. But what I'm saying is this. Since then, Bitcoin again has gone up and kept going up. And we had a good time about, it looks like about 6 months here where Bitcoin was within the $1,000 to $4,000 area. You see in this blue area here, I have marked off at the 4,000. So Bitcoin existed up and down within that period for about 6 months. So you see here, you have 3 years plus below 500. We have, so right now, what does this tell you? I wanted to show you this because it tells you that this thing about Bitcoin can last. The pricing, the neighborhood of its valuation or speculation can last for 3 years. This is not a thing where this is Bitcoin going to shoot up in a month or two. You should never think of it that way. You have to always understand that this Bitcoin can endure in terms of the pricing, can go up, it can go down and stay down for up to 3 years. Now, and in any situation, in other words, even the behavior of Bitcoin, because this is a behavior. This 300s, 5, 4, 5, 3, 200s. This is a behavior of the market, right? Because the Bitcoin isn't doing anything. The Bitcoin isn't doing anything, right? It's the way people are responding to it or interacting with it. That's the only thing that it's happening. So we see that people can have an attitude about, in this case, Bitcoin for 3 years or more, right? So this is something to be expected. So there is reason for someone to say, listen, I'm going to invest and hodl or hold Bitcoin for the long run. So he's figuring out that, or accepting the fact that this is definitely going to be a multi-year issue. If you're not in this for the multi-year realities, then you're again being a little dumb. So I'm speaking truth so people can wake up. You're being dumb if you're investing in Bitcoin or think you're going to put money in Bitcoin, and in 6 months you're going to be an unhappy street. Okay, so that's dumb. Simply, in any type of investment, you shouldn't want to be looking at an investment in a short-term point of or perspective, because it just doesn't work that way. In Bitcoin, especially, it doesn't work that way. And you can forget about all the other coins. If Bitcoin has this type of pattern, and you're expecting any speculation, because I'm not talking about value here. I'm talking about speculation with any of the other coins, then it's unreason for you to do any coin at all without the plan or the understanding and being comfortable with it that your money is going to stay there for multiple years. Okay, so it's understood. Now, I'm telling you that's a mistake, though, even though, but in putting your money into something and expecting a quick return is a very dangerous and risky play, because usually it doesn't work that way. What you learn from looking at this is the reality of most things in life, even your own business. You're going to start your own business. Mostly in the beginning, it's going to be slow. This is what this shows you. It shows the reality of people and markets and starting something. It's always slow in the beginning. A lot of people just so it's silly. I call a lot of people stupid, but it's simple, because you expect, you're still doing that. They look at you, oh, you're still trying to do this, you're still trying. Of course, that's just the reality of life. It's going to take a few years. I see you're still doing nothing, and it's already been all your life, 26 years, 46 years, 70 years. You've done nothing all your life, right? How's that going? Well, for you, you're successful at that. Okay, so in any case, it takes time, like anything worthwhile. Okay, so that's the first thing. Okay, so you have the 6 month period here where I've already marked out 4,000. I know it doesn't look like that, but it's 4,000 there. The box gets in the way. And so that's an area around 4,000. Let's say you invested in Bitcoin when it was $4,000. And so, fine, you waited a few months, and actually, that was a good time to, if you had the money then and you didn't get into it until then, it was practically the best time to do it. Because as you saw, this thing was going up, and chances were that it was still be going up, and it's exactly what happened. And then Bitcoin entered what I call the $10,000 range, from 5,000 to $10,000 range, and that began the late 17 year 2017 October, and went all the way up. I'm going to tell you right now, all the way up to 18. To the 18. Some of you have to play with this to get it right up there. And just higher, I think it went higher. The graph shows that it did go higher, but it doesn't want to go all the way up there. But at least it did 18,737 on mid-October of 2017. So that's what happened there. Now, if you had your invested when it was 4,000, and over here you sold it at the 18, well, you made about $12,000 profit per Bitcoin. Okay? What does this tell you? It tells you that when Bitcoin goes up, you have a great potential of selling your Bitcoin and having that realizing profit. Okay. And you could have realized profit all the way up here. You didn't have to wait. But a lot of people believe that Bitcoin will go even more higher than this. Okay. Again, this is speculation. So of course they're right. In terms of speculation, it can go up to $1 million, because if everyone is speculating it will, then it can, because of people's belief. Their belief that it can go up to $1 million will make it go up to $1 million, because it isn't based on any other reality. Just that simply that people believe it. So basically, there are many people, although they won't confess it to you, that believe that Bitcoin can go up to $1 million. Now, I believe that it can, because that's because I understand psychology. I know how people think, and Basically, this is based on human psychology. People will think this thing can get up to 1 million, so they will believe it, and they will make it happen. I believe in self-fulfilling prophecy, and when it's on a massive scale like this, then it will become a reality. Okay, so, but again, that's not. I'm not here to tell you to invest in Bitcoin. I'm just saying that why Bitcoin is the way it is today and where it's heading tomorrow because of these same factors. Okay. So again, so right now, as far as you can tell in this video, I've given you the reasons that you should be getting into Bitcoin. Now you're saying, well, Bitcoin costs so much. Now understand that Bitcoin is founded on Satoshi. What are Satoshis? Satoshis, in the way I've explained it to when I've done my past videos, Satoshis are like pennies to the dollar. So you have a dollar bill. That's the dollar bill. Bitcoin is like the dollar bill. In other words, that is like the standard money of Bitcoin. It is what it is. The dollar is the dollar. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. The dollar is made up of 100 pennies. So how you divide is 100 pennies. The Bitcoin is divided into Satoshis. I'm not going to get into you what is a 0.000001 on there. Something like that. I probably missed the zero here and there. But the point is that the Satoshi is part of Bitcoin. It is what makes Bitcoin, like a penny makes a dollar, right? 100 of them make a dollar. So about, what is it, 10,000 Satoshis or so or more make the Bitcoin. Again, I'm not sure the number there, but it's a lot of little Satoshis that make up a Bitcoin. So you don't need, in other words, when Bitcoin becomes $1 million, let's say, you don't need to have one Bitcoin to make a lot of money. All you need is a lot of Satoshis. So you have to look at Bitcoin as Satoshis, not just one Bitcoin. So in other words, if a dollar ever became $1 million, if you only had one penny, you would be looking at $10,000, basically. So that's the thing. Your penny would now be worth $10,000, and that's only because Bitcoin is transferable to a dollar. You understand? So you can change it into dollars, and it has a value then, and vice versa. That's the only reason, right? So so let's say if you had a penny, a U.S. penny, for let's say the Japanese yen would be valued at $10. So you can then exchange your penny for $10, and by buying another currency, then that's what you would do, right? So that's the example. That's the way you have to think about it. So again, so don't think of it like, oh, it's Bitcoin is already 8,000. Bitcoin is already 10,000. It's too much money. I don't have it. I can't invest in Bitcoin. That's not true. You can always, whatever you have in terms of dollars, if you have $40, if you have $100, if you have $10, if you have $1, you can always go and buy Bitcoin. You can buy Satoshis, pennies, right? Like penny. And when the Bitcoin goes, let's say you put $1 in, and let's say Bitcoin, starting from the 10,000 mark, goes up by 10 to 100,000. Your penny will then, your dollar will then go up 10 times, and then you'll have $10. So that's how it works. If you put in $1,000, not enough to buy a Bitcoin, but $1,000 worth of Satoshi, of the Bitcoin pennies. So then when the Bitcoin goes up to 100,000 10 times, your $1,000 will now be $10,000. So that's the way you have to understand that. So it doesn't matter how many Satoshis you buy. If it goes up 10 times, then your money has gone up 10 times. So it doesn't matter. It goes up 100 times to go up to 1 million. then your dollar has gone up. I'm sorry, your thousand. What did I say? A dollar? You say we still with the dollar has gone up 100 times, which would mean $100. And if you invested $1,000, that $1,000 would go up 100 times. Yeah, Bitcoin's $1,000,000, but your $1,000 would now be worth $100,000. So that is how that would work. So yeah, you have a whole bunch of crypto millionaires now, but you have $100,000. Hey, you at least you were in it, right? You have something to show from this whole big Bitcoin issue. So that's why I'm saying that if you are not into Bitcoin now, you really should get into it. There's really no reason for you not to have some stake in this phenomenon. Just simply, you know, why not, right? So you can put that in, get some Satoshi, and ride it through. You know, whatever happens, yeah, it goes up to 1,000,000 like you guys want. Good, good for you. I mean, it would do better there in that case, of course, than if you had put it into a savings account. But again, there's no guarantee it's going to go up either. So now that I gave you reasons that you should be in it, now I'm going to give you the reasons for those who are in it. And even if you get into it, to not do it in a stupid way. I'm going to show you how. So as you can see here, I've put in that area of the 10,001 Bitcoin here. Of course, Bitcoin has been popping up higher of late, and it right now is still it's at 8,144. So it went down below the 10,000, but it can go. We know that it can go from 10 and to 12,000. I mean, it's funny. This guy came out with his video 12,000. I already show it here because, like I said, there's nothing that is a mystery to me when I look at Bitcoin and crypto in general. I can pretty much see where things are going to happen and where they're going to go. So the 12,000 mark is just about where I'm at over here. That is very possible that would be the area that Bitcoin will tend to visit more and more as time goes on. Remember, as time goes on, now let's see what I'm doing, because this is the issue that you got to understand, that yeah, Bitcoin is going up in value, or in the speculative value, perceived value, but remember the nature of things. The nature of things is that, as time goes by, it will pretty much be in the neighborhood for a period of time. This is the activity now happening, but there's going to be behavior. We're going to have behavior, mass behavior, people, okay? So social behavior, societal behavior, investor behaviors. So this is what we're seeing here. We're seeing a lot of manipulation, a lot of details here, which I've done in other videos. I'm not going to do it here. But the case point is the following. If you have, if you're going to invest in Bitcoin, I'm going to give you the best advice that anyone's ever going to give you. It's smart to do it the way I'm going to tell you right now. So let me get over there. And the best way of doing it is by using something called leveraging. And let me just try. I'm waiting for that camera to come back in here. One moment, please. We have to let that. Let me try this. It's something called leveraging. And what is leveraging? Leveraging means that even though I'm doing something on this side, okay, I'm going to take some of this side And leveraging means like to make equal, to balance, right? To have some type of, to be on both sides, so that like if one side goes tips down too low, the other side will try to balance that out. And this is what leveraging is. It's trying to balance, so that if there's a loss on this side, the other side will compensate for it. Smart. In other words, simple, smart. This is being smart. So what you need to do is start thinking about leveraging your Bitcoin holdings or investment. And if you're not in Bitcoin yet and you want to get in, and you have to look at it and say, how can I leverage also? You can also leverage at whatever Satoshi amount you're at. Now, I did tell you that you did not have to be a Bitcoin owner to be even owning Satoshis to do what I'm going to suggest. Absolutely not. Okay? You don't have to. You can do this straight from your cash, or whatever cash you have, you can also leverage with your cash. That you can do as well. But particularly those who are in the Bitcoin, you really should be doing this, because it's stupid not to. You're playing a stupid game, and I'm going to show you why. Because if you don't leverage outside of Bitcoin, you're risking all of your Bitcoin holdings. You're totally exposed, nude, risked, exposed to full risk without any leveraging. It's practically imbecilic. You need to leverage. What does leverage do? Leverage makes you not lose all your money. That's the only way that you could not lose all your money. Okay. So you need to do is take a part of your Bitcoin holding, if you're in Bitcoin already, and you need to put it into something else away from Bitcoin. Why? Because if Bitcoin loses its value, it can go down to zero. It can. There's nothing holding it back from going down to zero except for people. People again, and it's going to go to 1,000,000. It can't. It can't go to the zero. It can. It can. Because I mean, you guys, and the reason why it can go down to zero, I'm going to tell you why. Because you guys get a heart attack when it drops $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. Everybody's having a heart attack, and then, oh, I got to sell before I lose my money. You, right, because that shows you that you're doing it the wrong way. That's the proof. If it's losing thousands of dollars and it goes down below where you brought your Bitcoin, right, and you can't sleep at night, you've done it the wrong way. That's the case in point. That's what I'm talking about. What I'm talking to you about doing, you're not gonna lose your sleep at night. It can go down to zero, and you know what? You're okay. That's the program that I'm talking about. It can go down to zero and stay there for 3 years, and you're okay. And I'm talking about financially okay and emotionally okay. Okay? So that's the way you have to do this. If you have all your eggs in one basket, like I know a lot of these guys are doing, then you're totally insane. You're putting all of it in, and I know you like to tell you, so it doesn't matter to you. It was better to be in than not be in. I heard a guy talk about the same guy in the park. Obviously, I was talking about, if this is a scam, his coin. He's not talking about Bitcoin, but if his coin was a scam, then it's like the best scam ever in history. And so what? Is that supposed to make it better? It makes you sleep better at night. It's total ridiculousness. I know he says that because obviously he doesn't have a better idea. He doesn't have a better way. I do. I have the better way for you to deal with all this crypto and always win. You're going to be a winner all the way through. And so that's what we're talking about here in this video. Okay. So what we're talking about is, as many of you know, I do real estate. I do real estate as a workshop, and I teach people how to invest their money into real estate. We have a particular. This is a very narrow program that is very well suited for leveraging your crypto, any coin really, but Bitcoin and any coin, your crypto investment portfolio, or your dreams of having Bitcoin. Because I know there's a whole lot of you that if you had the extra cash, you would have some Bitcoin. You would like to have it. I know that. And then you don't do it because again it's extra cash you don't have, and so why bother? And especially it goes up and down like that, so you justify yourself that way, even though I tell you right now you really are going to miss the boat because the boat is getting on its way. Okay, so in one of my programs you will be able to do one of two things depending on how much money or no money that you have. If you don't have any money, you want to get into crypto, then I have a program perfect for you. So that, and you'll be starting with the leveraging first, and then using the profit from that leveraged return of investment into Bitcoin. Okay. And then those of you who already have Bitcoin, then you should take a percentage of your Bitcoin and put it into this real estate program that I have. And I'm going to tell you why I'm saying the one that I have in a moment. You would take a percentage, and I'm recommending a minimum of 20%. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean right here. And we'll go into this screen here that you see on your screen. This is how Bitcoin can make you a millionaire. Now, the title of this video actually was How Can Bitcoin Make You a Millionaire in the Next 24 Months? Now, the reason I made this title was because, not because I believe that Bitcoin will make anyone a millionaire in 24 months. But because with the program that I'm talking about, you will be a millionaire regardless. Regardless. And notice where I have the Bitcoin ending up at in this diagram, right? Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, I see. Okay, let me just cancel that out. Would that be an undo there? Yes, it is. And let me just do this to make it easy. See how I have where I have Bitcoin ending up. Okay, this is not a forecast. This is just a possible scenario. Okay, so what I'm saying is this: if you are into Bitcoin right now or any crypto, you are suffering the ups and downs as we see here. These ups and downs are what you're suffering from right now. And everyone who's outside of Bitcoin, you guys are just looking at that. Some of you are laughing. Oh, it got down. Every time it goes down, ha ha ha. Here, you see, that's why I'm not in Bitcoin. Ha 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 ha. But then when it goes up here, you guys swallow your saliva, right? So you stay quiet because I would have been in a better place if I had Bitcoin right now. So that's the real truth. When it goes down, you say, then, oh my God, it's crashing. It goes down to 2,000. Oh my goodness. And even the people who went into Bitcoin, who got a few Bitcoins up here, maybe they brought in at 4, well, somebody's buying it. Right now it's at 8,000. Somebody's buying it at 8,000. That's what you got to understand. There are people buying Bitcoin at 8,000 right now, today. Excuse me. So somebody's buying it. Somebody feels that it's worth the $8,000. Now, if they brought 10 Bitcoin, let's say they spent $80,000, and then it's down to 4,000 each Bitcoin, and then goes down to $100 each Bitcoin, right? So now from $80,000 that they put into it, they are now left with something that if they sold it at that moment would only get them $800. That's a big loss, right? That's a terrible loss. It's a terrible loss. And that would happen with more of the other coins, really, than with Bitcoin. But it can happen with Bitcoin um, as easily. Not that it would stay there as easily as the others, but it can happen as well. So there's no reason not to think it would happen. But that's like the same thing. It can go from that $100 and then can go up to $1,000,000 by the same degree. By the same way it goes up this way and then keeps going up. That can and will eventually happen. At least 100,000. It'll go up. Once you guys get up to 100,000, you guys are already on the pathway of getting it up to 1,000,000. That is going to be an eventuality. When it happens, that's again, we're talking about it could be years away from that ever happening. But like everything else, it would be good to have some Bitcoin sitting in your pocket for that eventuality. But is this the smart way to go? Is the question. Is this the smart way to go to suffer these up and downs of money that you put away and you put into Bitcoin? And the question and the obvious answer is no. It isn't. It's totally risky. It's really irresponsible. Some people have invested heavily, like this guy who gave up living in an apartment so that he put the little income he gets, or whatever income he gets, into crypto, and it's not even Bitcoin. He's into another coin, and he's really all into it. So he's putting all of it on the line here, and again, he's not doing the smart thing. So in our real estate program, this would be a different scenario. Now let me show you what would happen in our real estate program. Let's say you had 2 Bitcoins here. Let me just write it in here. We're going to say that you have now 2 Bitcoin. Now remember, it could be anything, Satoshis, whatever it is. Matter of fact, let me just put 5 Bitcoin, right? 5 Bitcoin is better because of the example I'm using. So, and let's just put a price of that of $50,000. Right now, Bitcoin is at, let's say, in the neighborhood of the 10,000 that we showed you here. In this screen, we showed you that this is basically the neighborhood where Bitcoin is going up and down. And so let's just say it's 8,144 now. So let's just say it goes up and it's 10,000 per Bitcoin. So that's what we're going to use as an example here. And let's just say that you are an investor in Bitcoin and you have 5 Bitcoin, for example. And my recommendation is 20% to use for leveraging in our program. And why do I say our program? Here's the reason. Because in the program that we have specifically for this use, you will be able to realize a yearly return, an annual return of $50,000 from 20%. So if you put in 20% from your portfolio, invest in our REI program, uh, that would equal one BTC that you would put into our program. You will still have the 80% of Bitcoin of your crypto invested in that space. But 20% you will use to leverage in another space, so that, again, no matter what happens to the crypto space, you have money in another space. So you're not totally in crypto. Now, many investors already do that. But what they're not having is the $50,000 a year return. That they don't have. They can have their $10,000 worth of Bitcoin frozen in a house or in some type of investment or something, and it's pretty much there. Maybe they're earning 12%. Maybe it's a CD, certificate of the deposit. They're getting 12%. If they're lucky, they get more. Um, maybe, but that's really what they're doing. That's their leveraging. They're having money put away, so in case they lose everything they have in Bitcoin, at least they have money saved in a different place. Some people are just leaving it in their accounts or whatever have them. So that's what they're doing. Again, it's smarter than putting everything in Bitcoin. It's smarter than doing nothing at all. People not in Bitcoin, people not doing anything with their money except spending it. That's really idiotic. But it's not as good as putting it in our exclusive real estate program. In our exclusive real estate program, you get 50,000 every 12 months. Every 12 months. This is real estate. It's based on real estate. So these are you're talking about rentals here. It's a particular thing. It's not something that's commonplace. That's why most people who are leveraging with real estate are not realizing the profit that our people are realizing, because we have a special program, a special a way of developing real estate that will, you know, that produces this type of return. And so then that is why you should, consider 20% of your Bitcoin into our program. Now, at returns of 50,000 per year. Now let's look again at this chart. If you had purchased your Bitcoin, we're going to look at the 5 Bitcoin back when it was $100, let's say here. That Bitcoin cost you $500 originally. And then now each of those Bitcoins, let's just use the 10,000 mark, is worth 10,000. So you have 50,000 in Bitcoin right now. 5 Bitcoins to be exact, the same 5 you had here. So how much more Bitcoin do you have now than when you started? Well, assuming that you didn't do anything, you didn't sell, buy, or do that, which is another way to increase the amount of Bitcoin you have. And what does that mean? That when it goes down like this, it went down here, it's down here, like here, you will, buy the Bitcoin after selling. So you could have sold a few Bitcoin up here, and with that $18,000, let's say, over here when it was $3,000, you could have bought 6 Bitcoins actually. So your original 5 would now be 11 Bitcoins. You will actually be sitting on now 11 Bitcoin, which for the 10,000 would have been 110,000 Bitcoin. So in Bitcoin, or $110,000 worth. So again, this is a way of creating more Bitcoin by selling when it's high and buying more Bitcoin when it's low. So this is how people start packing up on their Bitcoin. Again, you're taking risks when you do that, and you have to be busy looking at the market and making the right time decisions at the right time. And you're risking also that one day, because there's one time where everyone's going to lose their position in the market, and that's when they sold their Bitcoin when it was high here, and they were waiting for it to go down here, but instead of going all the way down, it shot up high into $100,000. Then you're out. That will happen to a lot of folk one day, for sure. One of those days, because of what you're speculating, because of your own speculation, that's going to happen to you. So your own want, your own desire will one day leave you out of the market, at least in the bigger way that you want it to be. So again, that is also not too smart, but they're taking a calculated chance because they don't really think that's going to happen tomorrow, you know? So they believe that just like you see it here, that everything has steps and it'll start going up in steps. So they believe they'll have enough forewarning to get in before it keeps going up real high. So basically, that's the game you see now in Bitcoin and all the cryptocurrencies. It's like making sure they're in the game, but as it goes down, they want to sell. They want to, as it's going down, they want to pick up more Bitcoin. Hopefully, they sold some when it was up, and when it goes down, then they can use that money and buy two when before they sold one. Now they can get 2 or 3 Bitcoins for the one they sold here. And that is the truth with any coin you get. You know, you sell it when it's the highest mark. And then when it gets down low, you can pick up 4 or 5 more of those coins. And that's how you add more coins. When it goes higher still, then you have more money that way. So that's basically what's going on in all of these markets. All right, so you have that reality going on there. Let's say that's the one way that you can add to this. Now, when you're looking at this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years with the Bitcoin history here before any real movement was observed from the main price area, which is about $100 to $500. Okay, so and then you started seeing some movement. So if you're making in our real estate program, if you're making $50,000 per year, firstly, you would have noted that with the $50,000 per year, which by the way, it's up to you, but you can get it as Bitcoin or you can get it as a percentage in Bitcoin or any other coin that you're doing, or you can have it as fiat or as the dollar bill in dollar bills, cash. So whichever way you want to do it, you can get the money back to you. It's paid out to you in whichever form. But by just using it for Bitcoin, for example, that means that in the 5 years that Bitcoin was steady, you would have amassed $250,000 worth of Bitcoin. Now, remember when we made this analysis here of selling it at 18,000 when it went up and picking up more Bitcoin when it was down at what was it, 4 or 3? Remember when we did that? And how much was it? It was $110,000. See, so that even when you're doing it the way that most Bitcoiners and cryptocurrency investors do it, they still ended up with less money at the end of the day than if they had done the real estate leveraging as I am suggesting that you do now. So with the real estate leveraging, again, with my program, because putting it into other real estate, even though the regular real estate markets are what they are, you have some increases over time when it's not like getting $50,000 per year. So that's not happening anyplace else. No one's getting that. All right. So here you can see that if you had invested in cryptocurrency, but also in our real estate program, you would see, and you see now that you would have been $250,000 worth of Bitcoin right now, today. So with $250,000 worth in Bitcoin today, you're looking at, and again, this was over time, so you actually would have more Bitcoin than what I'm going to tell you now. But you just keep it the way it is. It's $250,000 worth of Bitcoin, and this is not really. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. 7 years today. To date, you would have been $350,000 worth of Bitcoin. 7 years, $350,000 worth of Bitcoin. If you had done the sell-off and buying, you would only have $110,000. So who is more advanced? Who's making more money? The guy who invested in our real estate program, not just in any real estate program, in ours in particular. Better off today, $350,000 compared to a really good $110,000 if you weren't just a hodler who would only today have $8,000 worth of Bitcoin, or with 5 Bitcoins, you would be a $40,000 range today. Okay, so this is the difference that we're talking about. Okay, now, so obviously leveraging in another program that produces this return for you is better. You're better, especially in the short term, because in the short term, in 1 year's time, that $500 worth $100 here, but let's just say it costs you $500. That $500 Bitcoin back 7 years ago would have already produced for you $50,000 worth of Bitcoin, which here would have been 100 Bitcoin. It would have been 100 Bitcoin. See that? And it would have been 100 Bitcoin. Let me show you. At the $500 range, if you had taken your return of investment as Bitcoin for these first 5 years, you would have had, and let's just take out the calculator. I can do it in my hand, but so why bother? Why bother? We got a calculator. Get a calculator. In fact, you have them on your computer, you never use them, right? So if we're making 550,000 per year, and we divide that by the high average cost of Bitcoin for those first 5 years, and you're talking about 100 Bitcoin for every year. Okay, every year. So for the first 5 years, you got 500 Bitcoin. When Bitcoin then went up to $4,000, let's say here, okay, $4,000, right? You had, let's do the calculator thing again. Where's that calculator? I think I got rid of it. So you have 400 Bitcoin. I'm sorry, that was 500. 500 Bitcoin times 4,000, right? Dollars each Bitcoin, you would have already been a multi-millionaire. That's $2 million. leveraging Bitcoin, leveraging Bitcoin with our real estate program. So while everyone else here before, at that time where Bitcoin was worth $4,000, everyone was saying Bitcoin's going to make $1 million. It's going to be $1 million. They're still saying it today. I still, to tell you, admittedly, it may get there. But the bottom line is, you would have been, and you could have been already, a multimillionaire with just 20% of your holdings in our real estate program. So this is the point. So how can Bitcoin make you a millionaire in 24 months? Simply by leveraging 20% of your Bitcoin holdings in our real estate investing program. In 24 months time, no matter what happens to Bitcoin, it can go down to zero. $100, but it goes down to $100, you will still be a millionaire while everyone else is still waiting for Bitcoin to make $1 million so they can be a millionaire, or at least have a six-figure income. That is why this is the smart way. Now, even if Bitcoin went down to zero, see, you don't have, remember I told you don't have to have everything in Bitcoin. You can just keep it as cash. So if you had 50,000 every year for 7 years now, you're talking about 350,000. That's more than most people have in Bitcoin, who are still waiting for Bitcoin to reach $1 million when it goes down to zero. They have nothing. They'll have nothing. Everyone's crying. And where will you be? Think about that for a minute. Everybody else will be crying, and you will be well on your way to regardless of where Bitcoin is. Bitcoin just simply has to stay afloat at any amount of money, $100. If you have your original 5 Bitcoin, and you have, well, one of the Bitcoins you use for our real estate program. So your 4 Bitcoins are now worth $400 that you had there, and assuming that you had used our program, you're making $50,000 a year. That's $350,000, and let's say you brought a lot of Bitcoin. In that trajectory of time, you should have 700 Bitcoin. So you have 700 times 100. It's still 70,000. So even if you're using the money to buy Bitcoin, even if it goes down to 100, which is really not likely for it to happen, but it could. There's no reason why it can't. You will still have. You say, okay, I've had enough with Bitcoin, which you shouldn't do, because it will eventually go back up and all that. So this is part of life now. But even if it's 100, you're getting older, you're tired, you want to just go off on an island and just rest and wait till death you succumb to death. You're still looking at $70,000 you're getting out of Bitcoin with $70,000 more than anyone else that just had, their little ducats in Bitcoin. You're sitting, hodling, waiting, or any other crypto for that matter. You're coming out, walking away with $70,000, and you're walking away still because you still have the real estate program. Remember, the real estate program is giving you another $50,000 that year. So you got the $70,000 plus another $50,000 that's coming to you. That's $120,000, while everyone else has lost all their money. You have to think. Everyone else lost all their money, and you're walking away in this precise scenario that I gave you with $120,000 in your pocket. That's not bad. That is not bad. Plus the fact that you still have the real estate investing uh, program in your pocket, which is producing $50,000 for you every year. So you can retire with that. Bitcoin can go up or down. It doesn't matter. But by leveraging with our real estate program, there's no way that you cannot win. You cannot lose with it. You can only gain. You can only win. And no matter what happens to Bitcoin. So again, this is an issue. And again, this does not happen with every real estate thing that you can imagine out there. It's not. There's a lot of issues with all of them. We have a perfect program which gives you this high rate of return, and it's maintained throughout the years, and no one else has it. Simply as that. So with that in your pocket and using it to leverage your crypto investment, I think that's the best scenario. Don't you agree? It is the best scenario of all. So you can contact me if you're interested in doing this with us. I can give you you can contact me through Skype. It's rev.dr.gilberto.rosado. And that's the Skype name. And then we can communicate, we can talk. And again, you need to be ready. Now, that's for the Bitcoin owners. You need at least 20% is the advice, but the minimum is 1 Bitcoin, by the way. 1 Bitcoin or $10,000, whichever one is the greater. It has to be at least $10,000 that you put in. Outside of that, now if you're not in Bitcoin, obviously you'll still make $50,000 a year. So you're not interested in Bitcoin, you're not in it. You can still earn $50,000 a year from a $10,000 outlay. So if you have $10,000 and you want to do this and get the $50,000 per year going for you, then you can also contact me. The other thing is, if you don't have the 10,000, you can still do this. It'll take you a little longer because you do need the 10,000. But we have a different program that you can start. And how much do you need for that? As little as $100 a month. It really doesn't take much. $25 a week. If you can muster $25 a week, then I can get you started in one of our programs that helps poor people, people with low resources to start getting into real estate. And that'll start producing for you about close to $5,000 a year. So you'll be able to start earning $5,000 per year. Now, on your second year, you'll have what? $10,000. I don't know where Bitcoin is going to be on the second year, but again, that's the only other option. If you don't have enough now to do it, at least you'll have the 10,000. It doesn't matter at that point, right? You have the 10,000. It doesn't matter where Bitcoin is at, because you don't need the Bitcoin to do the program. So all you really need are two $5,000 years in the low income program that we do have, and then you'll be able to do the $10,000 entry into the other program and get started that way. So in either case, whichever be your situation, those are the things available. And I have to make this point out clear so that you understand. I cannot guarantee that when you contact me the program will still be available. There is a limit. This is not open for all. Hey, everybody come in and get the no. There is a definite limit because it is a viable program. It's a real program with real results, but there's a limit to how many people we can get to do this. And, everything has a limit. Real estate has a limit. There's no more land. No one's making land. You can't make any more land. Until they open up Mars, we are limited right now. So there is a limit, and basically it's first come, first serve. So basically, whichever scenario you're in, if you have Bitcoin already, you want to leverage with 20%, then we'll help you with that. If you are without any Bitcoin, but you have the 10,000, you can start with us. If you don't have the 10,000, then we have the budget method that takes time, 2 years, for you to be able to then start with the bigger program with us. So those are the three options for three different types of situations that may be out there. And in all cases, it is a very limited program. So you have to understand, in all cases, we have a limit to how many people can come in and do this. Okay, so again, smart money and luck, because you lucked out to see this program and to get some knowledge about what is up. Leveraging with a high ROI is your best option, and the way, really, the only way that Bitcoin can make you a millionaire, even if Bitcoin fails. No, there's no place else and no way that you can get that for yourself. So if you want to be smart with your investment money, be smart. This is your opportunity to do that, and that's it. Okay, so that's it for me today, and for this topic at least. And again, you can reach me through Skype, rev.dr.gilberto, Gilberto, .rosado, which is Rosado, and that's the Skype ID, so you can reach me. I'm also available on, and what will happen is that I'm going to have you, if you want more details, you can get that. You have to pay me. I can't give everyone free info. This is it. This is the limit of my free info. So you get whatever you can get from my YouTube channel. That's that. If you want more, then you have to pay me, and you can do that through some Bitcoin or through some or WHENHUB, where I'm an expert advisor there. So you can go there and pay for my hourly fee, and then we can talk turkey. Those are the two options you have with that. I'm available to anyone. You want to talk turkey, you want to sit down. There's a guy with over 1,000 apartments under his getting enjoyment out of his rental money, and they're going to get together with me because they want to know what I know. They want to get involved with what we're doing. So, like I said, this is a limited engagement, folks. This is a limited opportunity. So don't stay out of it. People with the money, people with know-how, they see value in what we're doing here. Of course, it's the best way, absolutely, to do this and do it safely. And that's the key word, safely, because everything is safe. Your money is, your investment is secured. It's there. It's not going anywhere. Not more than you can say with Bitcoin or any of your cryptocurrency. So and again, the ROI is year after year after year after year after year. I mean, that's that. Of course, in a few years, you have to do some updating, some upgrades, and stuff like that. These are little details, but nothing like your regular standard real estate fair and the other problems that are related to that type of thing. So it's a totally different, high profit, like I say, totally worth the time and the effort, absolutely. And so it is the best option for you all. Okay, so that being said, thank you very much, and contact me. I'm out for the next 3 weeks, by the way, so forgive me. We're going to bury my father, and I have things to help my mother with, the surviving spouse, for the next 3 weeks, so I can get things rolling for her and things prepared and all that type of thing. You all know that you have family. And so I'll be back after those 3 weeks mostly. So if you're trying to reach me, understand that I'll be delayed and things like that for the next 3 weeks. So that's the reason. So I'm transparent. I tell you everything so that you guys understand. Okay, but other than that, but I don't wait. Don't just say, "Oh, he's in mourning now. He's gonna." Don't wait. Just get on the line first, right? So I can see you called first, because, like I said, it is a limited program. Take care, and I'll see you later on. Bye bye.